Here with Valentine's Day approaching this weekend, some people may be popping the question, so what makes a long-lasting marriage work? Our next couple have been happily married for 30 years, and now they share their secrets with St. Louis teaching healthy marriage workshops. And I'd like to introduce you now to Jennifer and Steve March. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. So 30 years.
For having us. Yes.
You know what they say? It's the first 20 years that are difficult.
Yes.
That's fantastic. What do you think the key is?
Well, I certainly think for us the key has been communication. That communication has really been a factor in making sure that as we go through changes that we clearly talk about what's going on with each one of us. And we find that with our couples as well, that communication's the key.
I was going to say, do you find that, Steve, that is sort of the root of all problems? Because if you're not talking about it,
well, problems tend to not get better because you've avoided them or you put them aside or hidden them. They just get bad.
So how do you encourage people to communicate? You have little tricks?
Mm-hmm. We do. We have a little acronym we call ATM, which stands for affection, time, and money. And that's the thing that couples say they have the least amount of.
Affection, time, and money.
Affection, time, and money.
And affection, there's a lot of different ways that you can think about that. For instance, people have different love languages. Like her love language is more about words of affirmation. So I could email her something during the day and have some kind of a touch there. And funny, I should mention that because that's my love language, is about touch. And that doesn't have to be a sexual thing at all. It could be simply coming in the house and just putting a hand on or something like that.
Or just holding hands.
Absolutely.
Hands.
Yeah. So tell me about the communication. How you encourage couples to do that back and forth communication.
This sounds like a good time for the
tennis
ball. Got to carry the tennis ball all the time. One of the exercises that we work with couples is the practice a speaker and listener interaction back and forth. And so one person speaks and shares whatever concerns and thoughts that they want to make sure their partner hears, and when they are finished, their partner then paraphrases it back. And when that paraphrase is to the first person's satisfaction, then the other person gets the ball and it's their turn to talk.
But you don't use a racket.
No, we don't use a racket, just the ball. Well, we find that couples really, it trains them to listen, and that's the thing that we find. Sometimes we're so busy not thinking about what that other person is saying, but thinking about what we're going to respond with. So by paraphrasing what Steve has said or what the other person has said, it's going to cause me to listen much more clearly.
Yeah, that's a really important thing, to listen, because often it's just your own agenda and what you want to say and what you want to get out of it. For me, the key is humor. If you don't have humor in your life, and as a married couple, then I think it's just such a hard thing to face every day, being married.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing that with the affection, time, and money, we also find humor's good. That works. With affection, time, and money, Steve mentioned the affection, but the time is also something that we find couples really struggle with. And with usually both persons working, just finding a little bit of quality time can really be a challenge. So we really encourage couples to think about even a small amount of time, whether it's 10 or 15 minutes, you might go on a walk together or have a nice
little
conversation.
Things that turn into big things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My dad used to say that he didn't know what happiness was until he got married, but by then it was too late. Just kidding. You can go to KPLR11.com and click on the Noon tab to get a link to the St. Louis Healthy Marriage Coalition site and find out more about the upcoming sessions with this couple. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. and Mrs. March.